Hey, it's Brett Gregory. So excited to be here with you. If you are just joining us, tell us what city and country you're tuning in from. And we have a great presentation for you today. So, um, screen sharing, start broadcast. Oh, it says live. All right. So if you're just joining us, please tell me what city and country you're tuning in from, and so I can give you a shout out. And today we're going to be talking about how you can literally double your productivity with just 5 minutes, literally in just 5 minutes a day. I'm going to show you my number one secret that has really the thing that actually allowed us to do over $1 million in sales over the last 24 months. We do consistently $50,000 a month in recurring revenue, and it is because of this this secret. So hey, Pat from Montreal. Hey, Sherry Lee from Vancouver. Welcome. If you're just joining us, please go to the questions box and tell us what city and country you are tuning in from so I can give you a shout out. And then tell me, what is the number one thing that is holding you back from being more productive? What is the thing that gets you stuck every day? The thing that holds you back? What are the distractions that stop you from doing the things that you really need to get done that are going to be most productive, most beneficial, and generate the largest return for you? Hey, Larry from Chicago, welcome. So go ahead, and if you're just joining us, I know a few more people just came on, tell us what city and country you're tuning in from, and then tell me what is your number one challenge that you have right now with your own personal productivity. Pat says it overwhelms me as I'm working on several projects. Yeah, Pat, that's a really common one, especially in our society when we get so incredibly distracted. There's just so many different things that it can pull at us. We just get spread out so many different ways. And Sandra, hey, Sandra from Victoria, Canada. Hey, Deborah, try refreshing. It sounds like everyone else can hear us. I'm sorry that you cannot. Try refreshing. And again, tell us what is the number one thing that is holding you back from being most productive. Okay, so as we go in, so let's go in right now and let's start this. And one thing that I want to share with you is this is our, my number one secret that has really helped us, get over $1 million in sales in the last 2 years. And I want this for you because it's so simple, it's so powerful, and it's absolutely unbelievable. So if you really want to grow your business, you can use this tool to dramatically grow your business. You can use this tool that I'm going to be giving you for free to significantly prioritize exactly what you need to do to get the customers coming to you, to get in front of more people, to get the right kind of visibility that you want, ultimately so that you can work less, you can travel more, and you can ultimately live and work from anywhere. So and that's what we really want to do. We really want to have a business that is sustains itself and allows you to live and work from anywhere. So what is this thing that I'm talking about? Well, what I'm talking about came from a book by Gary Keller called The One Thing. The One Thing, and the subheadline to The One Thing is The Surprisingly Simple Truth Behind Extraordinary Results. And so this one thing is, again, written by Gary Keller. Gary Keller was the founder of Keller Williams. So if you live in the United States, you may have heard of the Keller Williams Real Estate Agency. It's a huge real estate agency. And Gary Keller, he discovered what some of the most productive entrepreneurs out there discover, that when you look at everything that you can do, out of all of the things that you can do, there's usually a priority scale on which gives you the most return. In fact, you can pretty much always just prioritize all of the infinite number of things that you can do. You can prioritize them into things that give you the most return at the top, all the way down to things that give you the least return. And what Gary Keller did that was interesting is he just boiled down and he asked one very simple, fundamental question. And that question that you should write down is the following: what is the one thing that if I did today, would make everything else easier or unnecessary? What is the one thing that if I did today would make everything else easier or unnecessary? And he simply kept asking that question until he boiled it down to the single thing, the one thing that gave him the best results, the maximum leverage, the highest return. Now, I read this book about maybe 6 years ago or something, and I put it into action. And these are some of my results. Okay, so in the last 24 months, we were able to do over $1 million in sales. And the way that we were able to do that, now I have a home-based business. Okay, I work from home. I don't have any full-time employees. I have, two virtual employees. And to have a business that produces these kinds of results working from home, not even 40 hours a week, is awesome. And there is a secret to it. There's a secret to this, a method to the madness, and it's something that you can implement easily. And it is the one big thing. And it's my one big thing productivity planner that I'm going to share with you. And ultimately, if you can simply boil down all of the things that you do and strip away the things that are that don't produce the results, and simply keep stripping them away, keep stripping them away, keep stripping them away until you're left with only one thing. Out of all the millions of things that we can do, there is one best thing. There is one thing that can get you better results than everything else. And so it's important for you, and we'll go through the exercise today so that you can help boil down to that one thing. But let me just take a pause here. And hey, Maria, hello from Greece, and excellent, Kenneth. So if you're just joining us, tell us what city and country you're tuning in from, and then tell us what is your what is the thing that's holding you back from maximum productivity? What's the thing that's holding you back from getting great results? Are you overwhelmed? Are you stressed? Is there too much to do? Are there too many distractions? Tell me right now. I want to do a little poll here. So, hey Terry from Baltimore. So let's do a little poll. So number one, so what's the thing that keeps you, the thing that keeps me from getting, I'm typing this into the chat here in just a minute, from getting the best results is number one, I'm overwhelmed. All right, number two, so overwhelmed is a big one. That's one I hear a lot. Number two is spread too thin. Number three, don't know where to start. Number four, too many distractions. Number five, all of the above. All right, so let's hear it. So Maria says, what's holding me back? I work all the time one-on-one, and I'm trying to figure out how to build an online class to start getting clients virtually. Cool. So, going from in-person one-to-one to online one-to-one, Maria, yeah, that can be a big leverage for you. Kenneth, the one thing is money. Yeah, sure. Money, if you can, and Kenneth, actually, I really totally agree with you. If you can get money figured out in your business, if you can get consistent cash flow that comes in whether you're working or not, recurring income, that is, in my opinion, the single biggest thing that is going to ultimately get you the results. So take this poll with me really quickly. What's the one thing that keeps you from getting the best results? Is it number one, overwhelmed? Number two, are you spread too thin? Number three, you don't know where to start? Number four, too many distractions? Number five, all of the above? Or do like what Maria did and fill in the blanks, Maria and Kenneth, and fill in the blanks. Tell us what is the one big thing that's holding you back from getting the results that you want to get. And then the next is tell us what is the big result you want in the next 6 months. your 6-month goal. Okay, so John, Pat says 1 and 4. John's, so Pat is saying that overwhelmed. John is too many distractions. Sandra feels overwhelmed and scattered. Kenneth, all of the above. Robin, I agree with Kenneth, not getting enough coming in, so spread myself too thin. Yep, absolutely, Robin. So we're going to tackle that today. Okay, so and then the next is, tell us what is that result that you want. So sometimes people aren't even really clear on what that result is, and if you're not, that's okay, but now it's time to get clear. Tell us, what is that big result that you want to get in the next 6 months? So maybe it's in the next 6 months you want to build up your business so you're making $10,000 a month. That's a great result. Maybe in the next 6 months you want to have your business up so you're making $20,000 a month, and you have a full-time admin team that's helping you execute and implement things that need to get done. So that takes some work off of your plate, and you can then work less, travel more, spend more time with your family. Sandra, a 6-month goal to be making enough money to pay my bills and build from there. All right, good. So then, Sandra, set a definitive number. Okay, so whatever that number is, if it's $6,000 a month for you, whatever it is, it's helpful if you have a definitive goal, like Robin just did. Build up an online presence and earn $10,000 per month. You got it, Robin. Kenneth, the big result is to grow the incubator and be in a community innovation leader. Aim for $20,000 a month. Okay, awesome. So yeah, just put that, make it so it's super clear so you know whether you've got there or not. Terry, so much to learn before I can get my product out there. Need to learn to list build, setting up a website, getting clients, etc. Okay, great. So what is the big goal for you, Terry? Okay, so now let's get back here. By the way, when I hit the play button, right now, the way the screen is, I can't see your questions, but keep them coming in. Tell me what your big goal is. And as I'll do a little toggling back and forth so I can go back and see your comments. Okay, who's seen the movie Moneyball? If you've seen the movie with Brad Pitt titled Moneyball, please go into the comments and write the word Moneyball. I want to see who's seen this movie. And this is important because this movie makes a very, very profound yet simple point that is going to be super important for you to literally double and maybe even triple your productivity. If you've seen the movie Moneyball, just write the word Moneyball. I just want to see who has seen the movie Moneyball, because this makes a really profound point. So Larry's seen the movie Moneyball. Who else has seen the movie Moneyball? So whoever else has seen the movie Moneyball, just write the word Moneyball. I just want to see, kind of do a little poll here. I want to see who's seen this movie. So if you haven't seen this movie, Brad Pitt, this is based on a true story, okay? It's got Brad Pitt and Jonah Hill and Philip Seymour Hoffman, and Brad Pitt plays a real person by the name of Billy Beane, who was the manager for the Oakland A's baseball team. Okay, so what the premise of the movie is very similar to The One Thing. Okay, so Jonah Hill is an analyst working for another team, and Jonah Hill loves to crunch numbers. He loves statistics, and he's looking at all sorts of statistics right and left. And if you're a baseball fan, which I'm not a big baseball fan, but I am aware that in baseball fans and baseball commentators love their statistics, and there are so many different statistics. They're measuring RBIs, they're measuring all kinds of how many strikes and how many hits and how many this and that, and so many different things. And what Jonah Hill discovers is, hey, there's literally hundreds and hundreds of statistics that the baseball community bends over backwards to measure. And the team owners literally pay sometimes $100 million for just one player, and but in any case, they're literally spending hundreds of millions of dollars on the whole team. But there is only one statistic that matters in baseball. All the other statistics pale in comparison to this one statistic. And that one statistic is, how many runs you score. Whoever wins, the team that wins is the team that scored the most runs. So the only statistic that matters when you're measuring players' ability on a team is, can they score runs? That's it. There isn't any other statistic that is anywhere near as important as that one statistic. So what the movie was based on, Jonah Hill teams up with Brad Pitt. And the problem that the Oakland A's had is that they had the lowest budget of the second lowest budget of any team in all of baseball. And so the Oakland A's have to compete. You know, they have to play the New York Yankees that have the highest budget. New York Yankees can spend $100 million on one player. I mean, they have the, you know, all the money, you know, that they could possibly want to buy the best players. But Oakland A's and Brad Pitt here, Billy Beane, they did not have that luxury. So instead, what they did is they found the players that were overlooked by the other teams, yet they were really good at getting on base and scoring runs. The one thing, the one statistic that matters. And they said, hey, even though we have the second lowest budget in all of baseball, we can find these sort of forgotten, thrown away players that are really good at the only statistic that matters. You know, maybe they don't hit lots of home runs, but they are good at getting on base and scoring runs, which is the only thing that matters. So they got together and they were able to, with the second lowest salary in all of baseball, the second lowest budget in all of baseball, they were able to find these people that had these players that had the best chance of getting on base and scoring runs. So that's the one thing that they were good at. And because of that, they ended up, in the season that they started this process, they ended up winning their division. They almost went to the World Series on the second lowest budget in all of baseball. It was a true success story. But what was really profound about it is that it was very similar to the one thing. The one thing, there was only one statistic that matters. Similarly for you, it's time that you can ask yourself your big question. Okay, and this is going to help you find what your one thing is. And there's a very, very simple question that gets you to your one big thing. So please write this down. Okay, and what I want you to do is I want you to write the answer, what you think the answer is to this question. This is the question. And this is the question posed by Gary Keller in the book, The One Big Thing. What is the one thing that if I did today would make everything else easier or unnecessary? What is the one thing that if I did today would make everything else easier or unnecessary? And so the premise of what you need to do to double and triple your productivity is really surprisingly simple, but this is the truth. It's the surprisingly simple truth that's going to get you to extraordinary results. If you keep asking yourself this question and you keep answering it and you get better and better and better at stripping away the things that are unnecessary, the things that are that take away from your productivity, and you boil it all down to one big thing, okay? So let me take a pause here. And I want to see, go ahead right now and ask, go ahead and answer the question right now. Put it in the questions box. So what is, and we're going to do a little brainstorming. So I want you to answer it so I can help you. So what is the one thing that if I did today would make everything else easier or unnecessary? Okay, so go ahead and answer that question. Okay, and put it in there. So put in the answer to this question right now. So this is really profound. And sometimes the first time you try this, it is we usually don't get it. We usually don't get the answer right on the first try. I know I didn't. I think and it's the process of simply trying and continuing to ask yourself over and over and over again to boil it down to the one thing. For example, like the very first time I saw this question, I thought, oh, well, gosh, if I could just get all my email out of the way, that would make everything else easier or unnecessary. And then I realized, no, that's actually not the one most important thing. And then I said, oh, well, okay, well, what if I could just get my book written? That would make everything else easier and unnecessary. And then I started to really ask myself, are there other things that I could do? And I said, yeah, you know what? Actually, there are other things that I can do. And what I realized is over the days and the years of continually asking that question. There's nothing wrong. I want you guys to just answer for brainstorming purposes and then try it again and then try it again and then try it again. Because the more you do it, the better you're going to get at it. And the only way that you don't get to the answer is if you don't try. So I want to see everybody just give it a try. What is the one thing that if I did today would make everything else easier or unnecessary? So Michelle, I unpacked and organized my office, clearing up unfinished business. Awesome. That is a terrific step towards eliminating distractions. So let's say, great, Michelle, you organize your office. Now go and answer the question again. What is the one thing that if I did today would make everything else easier or unnecessary? So Maria, scaling up leverage. Okay, be specific, Maria. What is the one thing that you can do today to make everything else easier or unnecessary? Usually scaling up is a result of a series of steps of things that you do to scale up. Pat, declutter. Excellent, Pat. That's definitely going to help you eliminate distractions, which is the next thing I'm going to talk about. So for sure. So now let's say you declutter. Now go ahead and answer the question again. What is the one thing that if I did today would make everything else easier or unnecessary? Kenneth, the one thing today would be to charge higher for consulting services. Kenneth, you are totally on the right track. Okay, so the track that Kenneth is on is the track of increasing my income. Okay, so if you can get another client that is going to pay you, your high paying client, a client that's going to pay you, let's say, instead of just a client that pays you maybe one time $300, you get a client that pays you $700 a month for 6 months, Kenneth. Now you've just made everything else easier or unnecessary. So what's the one thing that you need to do to make that happen? Well, maybe, Kenneth, one of the one things you can do is focusing on scheduling a one-on-one sales call with a real prospective customer. That would totally nail it, Kenneth. So Jay, I don't know what's strange, if perhaps maybe you need to refresh your browser. Georgia, finish my ebook. Okay, great. So Georgia, what else can you do that will help make everything else easier or unnecessary? And it's usually around the realm of getting one-on-one sales calls with real prospective customers that you can talk to and sign up for your services. Sandra, focus on one form of marketing until I see results, or don't see results and then tweak. Okay, you're on the right track, Sandra. Let's get really specific, Sandra. And so focusing on one form of marketing is too general. Let's get really specific. What is the one thing that you can do today, Sandra, that's going to lead to your next high-paying customer? So Maria, okay, great. Learn about MailChimp. Sure. Mailing out, sending out emails can help you get one-on-one customers. But what else could you do that could be a higher leverage than that? Now, I'm not saying, Maria, you don't need to learn about how to use an email system. But I am saying, out of all of the things that you can do, is there something else that is more valuable than that? So see if you can, so do it again. Say, what is the one thing that if I did today would make everything else easier or unnecessary? Robin, you got it. Get more enrollment conversations. So for those people who don't know the term enrollment conversations, that's another way to say a sales call. You're basically going to get a person one-on-one that you can talk to about enrolling in your program, or your high-end one-on-one program, whatever that would be. So Robin, you totally nailed it. Now, what can you do specifically, Robin? So you're on the right track. The result of the one big thing should be to schedule another sales conversation, to book a sales call. But what can you do that would accomplish that goal. So you're right there, Robin. You're so close. So answer the question again. What's the one thing that if I did today would get me an enrollment conversation? So yeah, you're welcome, Kenneth. Okay, great. You guys are totally rocking this. Keep going. This is about brainstorming. And the more you brainstorm, the more likely you are to get the answer to this question that is going to be profound for you. The only thing that doesn't work is not trying. So just jump in like everybody else and answer the question. What is the one thing that if I did today would make everything else easier or unnecessary? Okay, so now there's another. So what I found is that anything that's going to get me one-on-one sales calls with high-end prospective customers is a big deal. Anything that accomplishes that goal is the thing that I want to do. Anything. So that's really what I like to focus on. And so I would just keep in mind the answer to the one big thing for me is that anything that's going to help me get one-on-one sales conversations booked or is going to help me, sell some of our information products or programs. Okay, so now let's talk about, as we're doing this, something that is really, really, really important to your productivity. Eliminating distractions. So we saw when we did our poll a little bit earlier, one of the biggest things that pulls us away from being our most productive selves are distractions. And I think that the number one biggest distraction is email. The number one biggest distraction is email. And I've been guilty of this for a long time. And it's very, very hard to resist, opening up our email inbox, seeing who has emailed us. It's just very difficult to resist that. However, what I found is that if I am able to focus, if I can figure out what is my one big thing first thing in the morning, and I do that thing first before I go into my email inbox, then I can successfully eliminate distractions. I can eliminate the one biggest distraction that always gets in my way. I can get that out of the way. And then I can focus on having a really productive day. So, if you've ever been like me in the past, where it used to be in the mornings, I would wake up and literally the first thing that I would do before I exercised, before I even had a glass of water, before I did my morning routine, I would check my email. And what I've discovered is that that's actually a great way to be unproductive. That's diving headfirst into the biggest distraction that we possibly can have. And the thing is, your email inbox, and I got this from Brendon Burchard, your email inbox is filled with other people's priorities. All right, think about that for a second. Your email inbox is filled with other people's priorities. Your email inbox is not filled with customers. Mine's not. The email inbox is not filled with money-making activities. The email inbox is filled with other people's priorities. And that's the number one biggest distraction that I see. Other distractions, there's plenty of other distractions. A lot of people, waste, the other big waste of time is social media, Facebook, constantly looking at Facebook news feeds, seeing what our friends are up to. I mean, there's so many distractions in this day and age. And the thing is, our attention is competing against all those distractions. So one of the things that we really want to do is to eliminate these distractions. So let's go. So Terry says, have someone read and edit the first 2 chapters of my book. Okay. Maria, but I'm already doing these things. I'm interested in scaling up. I already charge a lot. I already have many engagements. I'm posting live on Facebook. I'm boosting my events. I'm reaching here, put a story out there that gets people interested. Okay, great, Maria. So just focus on what is the one big thing that's going to make everything else easier or unnecessary. Kenneth says, I've stopped email, only LinkedIn and Twitter. Awesome. Yeah, so what I do that I've found works extremely well is the first part of my day. So in the mornings when I wake up, I have a morning routine. I get up brush my teeth, do my business, drink some water, and head right out the door for exercise. I want to get my heart pumping, get everything going. And then I come back, I have some morning family time, hang out with my kids. We usually play some games. We don't watch any TV, have a very nutritious breakfast, send them off to school. And then I focus my first 1 or 2 hours of my workday, which usually starts at about 9. My first 1 or 2 hours of my workday is focused on marketing. It's focused on marketing that is going to help me either get high-end one-on-one sales calls, fill my live events, fill my webinars where I'm going to sell something on the webinar, or scheduling or selling programs, high-end programs on a one-on-one basis. So that first 2 hours of every single day is just focused on marketing. And but it's very specific. It's marketing that's going to lead me to either a high-end sales conversation or give me the ability to sell one of our higher-end programs. And that doesn't mean that we don't sell lots of our lower-end programs. I sell plenty of $7 ebooks. I sell plenty of $500 information products. But the focus is on selling the high-end programs, the high-end coaching programs, the group programs, and the things that are going to make us the biggest leverage, okay? So what can you do right now? Go ahead and make a pledge. What would you do right now to help eliminate distractions, okay? So my biggest recommendation, and go ahead and answer this question. My biggest recommendation is to block out your first 2 hours of the day, and you're not checking email at those hours. You're eliminating distractions. You really protect yourself from distractions. Do whatever it takes. I take extreme measures. My kids know when I'm in my this is distraction-free time from 9 to 11. Nobody's allowed to bother me. The phone gets turned off. I turn off the email, and I just focus on marketing. So what could you do to help eliminate distractions right now for your one big thing? Okay, so again, it could be turning off the phone, it could be shutting down the email, it could be making sure you're in a space where nobody's going to bother you, and you're eliminating distractions to focus on your one big thing. Go ahead and write right now. So here, we'll do a quick little poll. What can you do tomorrow to eliminate distractions? Okay, 1, turn off phone. 2, close email. 3, block off time in calendar. So whatever those things are. So usually it would be the first. Yeah, Terry, for sure. Yeah, leave your phone in the other room or just turn it off. Either way. And Kenneth, I'll pledge the first 3 hours. And good, Kenneth. So just make sure, though, do whatever it takes to eliminate distractions, because trust me, people are going to try and get through to you, at those hours. Now, usually 6 a.m. to 8:30 p.m. that tends to be a more quiet time. But you'll see as soon as you try to eliminate these distractions, they try. It feels like they try to come in harder. They really don't, but it feels like it. So Maria, get rid of the pop-ups on my computer. Yeah, that's like the worst thing ever is the pop-ups. And when I, if I'm, for example, if my one big thing is I am writing emails that I'm going to be sending out to help me fill a live webinar, I close out all of the, my windows. So I don't leave any windows open. And I close everything else out. I call that clearing off. You can clear off your physical desktop. You can clear off your desktop on your computer. You can even clear off your mental desktop. But we want to clear everything else off and just focus on one thing. So Kenneth, checking Brett's email is an exception. That's awesome. Pat, turn phone on silent, leave marketing plan and execute it instead of getting distracted with social media. Yeah, cool, Pat. And Pat, let me just take it one step further. Instead of you can have your marketing plan, but on top of the marketing plan, have your one big thing productivity planner. That's the thing that you should have right on top. Michelle, make a block of time each day that is untouchable. Turn off all technology alerts and shut my door. You got it. And Michelle, I recommend have that be your very first thing that you do. The first thing that you do. So here's something that's important is that as the day goes on, I learned this from my friend Eben Pagan, and I've also heard this confirmed from quite a few other sources, and you can probably just know that this is true based on your own experiences, is that in the mornings, we have the most willpower. You know, when we wake up, we're fresh, you know, we're rested, we've slept, and now we've got the most willpower. We've got our energy and we're ready for our day. That's when we want to do the hardest thing first, which is usually the one big thing. And as the day goes on, our willpower tires out. You know, by the end of the day, our willpower is probably, you know, close to gone, if not completely gone. So what I recommend, Michelle, is make that block of time each day the first thing that you do each day. So, you know, for me, I do mine from 9 to 11, and I don't look at email before that. I don't open my email until after 11 a.m. And that has made the most profound difference in my productivity. Robin, close email and social media. Keep that time clear from other appointments. Yep. And I recommend, again, do it first thing, 9 to 11 a.m. Kenneth, leave my phone in the house and walk. Okay, good. Pat, Sandra, Kenneth, watch sunrise. Yep. To balance and refresh the soul. Yeah, that's a great way to clear off your mental desk. Okay, so let's go on to the next section. Let's talk about the one big thing for all businesses. And the one big thing, there's nothing more important. And it doesn't matter what industry you're in. It doesn't matter what you do. All businesses need income. All businesses need to make sales. And there's nothing more powerful than consistent recurring income. Income that comes in every single month. So when you start the month, you know, hey, I've got $5,000 that's already coming in. I've got $10,000 that's already coming in. I've got 20, 30, 40, $50,000 that's already coming in without making one new sale. I've got consistent recurring income. And I took this photo when I went to Africa and I hiked Mount Kilimanjaro. And I like this photo because I took a month off and I went to Africa and I hiked Mount Kilimanjaro, among other things. And my business was fine. And why was my business fine? Because I had consistent recurring income every single month. If we don't make any sales, we make $50,000. If we make $10,000 in sales, we make $60,000. If we make $20,000 in new sales, we make $70,000. And it's all because we have consistent recurring income. So now, don't worry if you don't have any consistent recurring income. Consistent recurring income is something that anyone on this call can create. Okay, you can get consistent recurring income from your clients, even if you've never done it before, even if you don't have it. One simple way, and there's lots of different ways to do it. I'm just going to talk about one way. Okay, one way to do it. This is the way that I do it. My favorite way to do it is to create a high-end coaching client on a 6-month contract. Okay, so you do high-end coaching on a 6-month contract. Okay, so when someone signs up with you, you're going to work with them for 6 months. When they sign up with you, they're going to sign an agreement that says they're going to work with you for 6 months. It's not just one and done. It's not a 1-hour sample. It's not a something that's really short. This is a 6-month agreement. Okay. Now keep in mind, when we talk about high end, I'm talking about the top of your client base. Okay, so let's say if you work with 100 clients, maybe this is your top 10, top 11. It's your top 10% approximately of your client base. So I'm not assuming that every single person you talk to or work with is going to be a high-end client. Usually it's your top 10%, okay? And so this is the model that I use to very quickly, in just let's see, it was 3 months. I went from $0 a month to $8,000 a month in 3 months. And then we got to $10,000 a month after a year with this model. Okay, so please write this down because this is really valuable. So the first thing you do is that top 10% of the people who sign up with you get them on a 6-month agreement. Okay, and I'm going to tell you, if you can do this, this will make everything else easier or unnecessary because it'll get you the consistent recurring income that you want and should have. So here's what the client gets when they sign up with you on a 6-month coaching model. So they sign a 6-month agreement, and here's what they get. They get 2 30-minute one-on-one calls with you each month. All right, 2 30-minute one-on-one calls with you each month, plus 3 group calls each month. Okay, so now think about this for a second. So if somebody signs up for your high-end, top 10% of your clients sign up for your high-end program, and they get to talk to you live 5 times a month, 2 times one-on-one, 3 times in a group. That's a hybrid model. It's not just pure one-on-one, and it's not just pure group. In my opinion, it's the best of both worlds. And I've been doing this for going on 6 years now, and I found our clients absolutely love the model. It works so well for both client and coach, okay? And so here's what you charge for this. The other important thing about it is that the first time when my coach told me about this model, the first time I heard about it, I assumed, oh, that's got to be a $2,000 a month program. I get to talk to you 5 times a month. I'm expecting in my mind to pay a lot of money for that because it's a lot of, I get access to you 5 times a month. That's significant. So in the client's mind, they're already thinking a high number most of the time. All right, and here's how you charge for this. So you take your first 5 clients on at $700 a month. So write that down. You have 5 clients times $700 a month. That's $3,500, okay? So what's going to happen is as you are getting on these new clients, remember, it's just the tip of the iceberg here. It's just your high-end clients, the ones that are going to create consistent recurring income for you. So don't think about, why this won't work for you. Think about how can this work for you. That's an important mindset shift, okay? So now you've got your first 5 clients, $700 a month. That's $3,500. Now what's going to happen is you're going to start getting them results. You're going to start getting word of mouth marketing is going to start to kick in. You're going to need to raise your price, not by much, but by a little. You take on your next 4 clients at $1,000 a month. 4 times 1,000 is $4,000. Okay, so now your coaching program's almost full. All right, you got 9 people in there. You got a total of 11, room for 11. So there's only 2 spaces left. But again, because you're getting people results, word of mouth marketing is kicking, demand is going up, you need to raise your price. Just by the last 2, you take the last 2 on at $1,500 a month, okay? So now let's add all this up. You're just 11 clients away from making an extra consistent recurring $10,500 a month more than you're already making. And the best part is it only takes you 14 hours a month of your time. All right, think about that for a second. You're just 11 clients away from making a consistent recurring $10,500 a month, and it only takes you 14 hours a month of your time, okay? So one thing I want to stress here, I'm gonna just take a look and see what, see who loves this. By the way, if you love this coaching model, I absolutely love this coaching model because to be able to bring in $10,000 a month on 14 hours a month, that gives you all the time, money, and freedom to do whatever you want. The other thing is that makes everything else easier or unnecessary. So if you love this model, right? I love this. If you love this model, this coaching model, right? I love this. Okay, so let me know if you love this coaching model. Let me know that you love this. So Pat, I love this, Maria. Yes, yeah, you do. You just like it, Maria? I think you probably would love it. Oh, Michelle has a great question. Do the people get more cranky about the people who paid less? Great question, Michelle. I've never, ever, ever had anybody ever get cranky about it. And the reason why is, if you think about it, everybody knows what an early bird special is. Okay, so for example, I've got a live event coming up in February. And the live event at the door, if you show up at the door to my live event, it costs $1,000 to get in the door. A month earlier, there's an early bird special at $500. But people who paid 1,000 don't get angry at the people who paid 500 because they bought earlier. Similarly, you know, I'll make an offer to you guys today to let you in for $197, and nobody else is going to care that you got it at a discount because you were there when you got in early. And it's the same concept here. So Michelle, I've never ever had anybody be upset that somebody who came in first paid less, because everybody knows what an early bird special is. So let's talk about the one big thing for you. All right, the one big thing for you is how to get high-end clients. Okay, so how do you get high-end clients? And so we're going to do an exercise here. And by the way, let me just I want to give everybody the link to the One Big Thing Productivity Planner. So do me a favor, if so far you've gotten value out of this presentation, if so far you've gotten value out of this presentation, write the word value. If you've gotten value out of this presentation, write the word value. And if you write the word value, I'll give you the link to go and download the One Big Thing Productivity Planner. This is the thing that's going to allow you to actually download the One Big Thing Productivity Planner and give you exactly what you need so you can go and fill it out. So Robin says value, Pat says value, Sandra says value, Terry says value, Maria says value. Okay, you guys are rocking. So here's what you do. Click this link, all right, and I'm going to do two things on this link. So I just posted this link, and you're going to see it. It'll look like this. This is the link. You see you have access to the One Big Thing Productivity Planner. So one thing I want to show you here is I'm turning this into an ad. You can see there's 475 people have already liked it. Tell us, so on the post itself, tell us what value you learned from the One Big Thing Productivity Planner webinar. Okay, and so do that in the comments right here on this particular post. Okay, so on the post, tell us what is the one big thing, what is the thing that you learned from the webinar. Okay, and one of the things that I'm going to do, so do me a favor, when you get here, click, you know, the like or love, make a comment, tell us what is the one big thing, and then click the share button. This is the share button right here, all right? And what's going to happen is you can see 8 people have already shared it. You can see these people have already made a comment. One of the things that I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this post into an ad. Now, the ad has already been running. You can see it's already been seen by 8,500 people. I'm going to turn this into an ad, and I'm going to show this to 500,000 entrepreneurs. If you want to get seen by some of those entrepreneurs free, make a comment here. Okay, make a comment on this particular post, and then you will have the opportunity to get seen by all those people. So Deborah Jensen's going to get seen by 500,000 entrepreneurs. Paula Duncan's going to get seen by 500,000 entrepreneurs. Susie Willite, Leslie Beeson, Mark Davis, Adriana is going to get seen, Mentor Loft, Nancy Marie, CJ, Celeste. All of you are going to get seen by 500,000 people. All you have to do is write a comment and click the share button. And then I'm going to turn this into an ad that'll get seen by 500,000 people. Okay, and so when you do this, we're going to, you'll click on the, go ahead here and let me just see if anybody just added, it looks like somebody just added a new comment here. So as soon as you can, go ahead and add the comment and just tell us what you learned. So Maria, you're awesome. Maria, you're going to get seen by 500,000 entrepreneurs. So anybody else who makes a comment like Maria just did, you're going to get seen by all these entrepreneurs. Okay, so don't forget to do that. Do that right now. And we're going to turn this into an ad. So remember, you're going to get emailed the one. So when you click on this, after you make the comment, click on this, click the instantly download my One Big Thing productivity planner, put in your name and email, click get started, and then you're going to see a replay of this webinar pop up. Okay, and so go ahead and click get started on that, and then you're going to be emailed the One Big Thing productivity planner. So if you don't see it right away, please check your spam filter, because we did email it to you if you put in the correct email address. Okay, so let's move on. Thank you, Marianne. Great value, marketing first. Yep, awesome. Cool. So now let's go into actually utilizing the One Big Thing productivity planner. So by the way, when you actually get the One Big Thing productivity planner emailed to you, I have it here among a few other things there on my desktop. I'm going to open it up so you guys can take a look and see what the One Big Thing productivity planner looks like. You can download it in a Word document, and it looks like this. All right, so this is the One Big Thing productivity planner. And what I did is I took the liberty of pre-filling one out. So I've got a sample here, and I filled it out the way that I would fill it out if I were you. And then we've got a blank one underneath it, okay? So you can just, see, this comes for you. This is a Word document. You can fill it out. But we're about to do an exercise right now. And what I'm going to give to you is so you guys can download this One Big Thing productivity planner. But then once you have that, make sure that when you open up your Word document, this is, you can use this as a guide, and feel free to just totally use it exactly as is and start implementing it. But it looks like this. I put it out to say, hey, if you want to, let's say you want to make $150,000 in the next 12 months. All right, and you ask yourself the question, what is the one big thing that if I did today would make everything else easier or unnecessary? Well, I know that if I filled my 2016 high-end service program with the model that I just gave you, all right, that gives you $10,500 a month. If I did that, that would make everything else easier. What else could you do with an extra 10 grand a month? You could do so much, okay? So then you have to get specific, all right? So now we know what the goal is. The goal is to fill the high-end program. So now let's get specific. So specifically, I say, what is one big thing that I could do today that will get me more one-on-one high-end sales calls, okay? So that's the thing, that if I did that today, that would make everything else easier or unnecessary. So the one big thing, I could focus my day on scheduling 5 free strategy sessions, okay? So that's those are basically sales calls. How could I schedule 5 free strategy sessions with real prospective customers in the next 5 days with clients or people who I know could become real prospective customers? Essentially, you're trying to schedule 1 sales call a day. Okay, now think about that. That's doable, all right? That's realistic. And I'm not saying if you don't have any prospective customers in the pipeline that you jump on the call and you're going to get one immediately today. But if you do start the process of doing what's necessary to reach out to people to start scheduling one-on-one calls, you will start getting the one-on-one calls. So this is the one big thing example, sample that we have here. Schedule 5 free strategy sessions within the next 5 business days. What are the 3 small steps that I need to move my one big thing forward? Okay, so I know, all right, if I can get myself sales calls booked on the calendar, I'm going to get 1 step closer to filling my high-end service. So what are 3 little things that I can do to move my one big thing forward? Now remember, this is not a to-do list that you would think of like the million things that we have to do that we don't have time for. These steps only are for the one big thing. So if my one big thing is to schedule, 5 sales calls, one of my steps is not going to be to write my my next book, or to just create a webinar, or do something that isn't really going to help me get one-on-one phone calls. okay, the only time, there are occasions where a webinar would help me schedule the calls, but only in specific instances. So here's what I wrote in general. I could go through my phone and I could email contacts and I could identify 20 prospective customers. All right, let's go through the phone. Let's identify 20 real prospective customers. Let's draft and send them an email to these 20 prospective customers, offering them a free one-on-one strategy session in exchange for a testimonial. Okay, that's another thing that I could do that would help me get one-on-one strategy sessions. Let's private message 20 people on social media, offering them a free one-on-one strategy session. Okay, so there's a lot of little things that I could do. These are 3 very clear, simple, distinct little things that I could do that will help me with my one big thing. My one big thing is schedule 5 free strategy sessions within the next 5 business days. Okay, if I do that, that will and I can close 1 client out of those 1 high-end client out of those 5 calls. That will go a long way towards helping me fill my high-end service. That is the one big thing that if I did today would make everything else easier or unnecessary. Okay, so if your screen is getting fuzzy, just go and refresh. It's probably on your side. That's usually what happens if you're on Wi-Fi or something like that. You're not plugged into a hard line. Try and refresh because it's probably on your side. So here, when we go to the one big thing productivity planner, now you get to fill this out for yourself. So feel free, go right ahead and use what I wrote in there for you, by all means, or make it your own. The only thing that's really important to understand is that this is not your typical to-do list. We've all probably made to-do lists before, and they have a bunch of things on them that may or may not really work well for you. And so this is not a to-do list. This is a one big thing list. Okay, so look at this image right here. We've got a to-do list that's got 25 things, and probably 24 to 25 of them aren't going to really make us a lot of money. We've got a success list where we boiled it down to 5 things, but then there's one thing. There's one thing that makes everything else easier or unnecessary. All right, so I want that one thing for you, whatever that one thing is. So right now, we're going to do an exercise. And so what I want you to do is write in the answer to this question. So right now, everybody just take a minute and do this right now. Answer this question. What can I do to get one-on-one sales calls with real prospective clients? What can I do to get one-on-one sales calls with real prospective clients? Okay, so go ahead and answer that question. And so what I'm doing is I'm helping you get to the answer of what's the one big thing that if I did today would make everything else easier or unnecessary. Well, it's probably something that's going to get you on the phone with a real prospective customer that could become one of your high-end clients. All right, so I gave you some ideas here. Here's the 3 example ideas. I could identify 20 prospective customers. Go through your phone, your Facebook friends, go through your email list, and identify 20 people who could be legitimate, real prospective customers. All right, so do that. Go ahead and answer this now. You could then draft and send them an email to those same people, offering them a free strategy session, and maybe in exchange for something. You could give them something, they give you a strategy session, or you give them a free strategy session, they give you a testimonial. Last is identify 10 speaking opportunities and book one. Okay, that's another example of something that's going to help you get one-on-one sales calls with real prospective customers. If you speak in front of an audience, no matter how small, I mean, I remember the first time I spoke in front of an audience. I think I spoke in front of like 6 people in somebody's living room about Facebook marketing, and I ended up getting a client out of it. And that's that's a common thing that can really happen and work well for you. So right now, go and answer this question. This is the thing that's going to make all the difference for you. Go ahead and answer this question right now. And then, so Michelle, create and send emails to former students and offer them a free strategy session and also book a speaking opportunity. Yeah, totally, Michelle, you got it. Okay. Things that you can do on a go forward basis is do whatever is necessary to speak with customers every day. Speaking with real prospective customers every day. Get on the phone every day with at least 5 people who are customers or real prospective customers. That's the kind of thing that's going to help you grow your business, no doubt. Okay, there's just nothing more powerful than speaking with real prospective customers. So be sure to download your One Big Thing Productivity Planner. Okay, I'll give you that link one more time here in the chat. If you haven't done it already, click on that link. Go ahead and actually, I think I needed to put www in front of that. Let's try that one more time and see if that works and it turns into a link. Okay, so go and do that and then fill out your One Big Thing Productivity Planner. And then use that the first part of your day. Every day, use your One Big Thing Productivity Planner. That's going to be the biggest. That's going to be the biggest thing that's really going to help you. So if you got some value out of this, and if you are interested in getting a big discount to our live event, we're going to focus on how you can find all those customers. Write the word live. If you're interested in getting a promotion code and you want a big discount to find all those customers that we were just talking about, write the word live. And so if you can see it here, write the word live if you're interested in how to get all those customers and you would like a promo code and a discount to our live event. So here's a link to our live event. Let me just grab it here. Here's our link to our live event. So if you click on this link, it's going to take you to this page here. All right, so you're going to see this page here, and you'll see it's Attract Customers Now Live, February 8th, 9th, and 10th. This is where you learn how to find those customers that generates you $10,000 a month here. And this is a promo code that we have for you. It's case sensitive. Buy my ticket now, promo code early. And so this goes back to the I think it was Michelle who asked the question, doesn't anybody already, oh, Maria's already registered. Love you, Maria. And for anybody who is ever worried about, hey, are you worried about the people coming after you paying less? Well, no, this is a promo code. This is an early bird special. So you need to follow along correctly. So the promo code is early. All right. So you click, when you're here, you click on the Buy My Ticket Now and you use this promo code. This promo code will not be available much longer, but you can see it goes down to $197. And then you can check out with PayPal or you can pay with your credit card. So what do you get here? You get a ticket to the live event in San Diego, February 8th, 9th, and 10th. And you get the following bonuses. You'll get immediate access to the lucrative like formula. You get immediate access to Facebook marketing for newbies. You get immediate access to profitable Facebook ads step-by-step, and immediate access to the recordings of the weekly 6-figure Facebook marketing class. Okay, so that's $2,000 worth of bonuses plus a $500. That's plus a $500 ticket. So that's $2,500 for just $197. So I'd love to have you in there, and anybody who jumps in now, we will contact, and you guys can have a extra bonus. That's a 30-minute one-on-one with me personally, but only if you take advantage of this right now. And that is not something that's available to anybody else. So I am going to throw that in if you take advantage of this right now. So with that, I would love to see you there live. I'd love to help you build your business. So please jump right in, and then let's get started building your business together. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Much love, everybody. I can't wait to meet you live in person in San Diego. Namaste.